Good morning, Rupali. Am I audible to all of you? Hello, Ruhina, am I audible? Zainab, can you hear me? Hello. Hello, Manish. Am I audible to you? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
You're audible. Yes.
Okay. What about others? Zainab, Yasmin, Ruhina, Rupali,
Yes, sir. Yes.
Chandrasekhar?
Sir, yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Fine. So I hope your revision is going on in full speed. Okay, so let me start with Yasmin. So Yasmin, did you cover all the topics which I have given to you yesterday? Yesterday I have given some topics like parliamentary
Yes, sir.
and the judiciary topic I have given, right? So let me share the screen with you. Okay. Okay. Can you all see the screen? Is it visible? Naveen, good morning, Naveen. How are you?
Yeah, good morning, sir. Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay, fine. So you have started reading, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Fine, fine. Okay, so yesterday was 21st of July. So I have given you the topics of Parliament of India, then parliamentary system. We have seen that repeatedly the questions have been asked by the UPSC in last 2-3 years on this parliamentary system, parliamentary democracy, then various committees which are there in the parliament through which the parliamentary democracy is executed or function. So the questions have been repeatedly being asked on parliamentary committees, parliamentary system in India, Parliament of India, then parliamentary forums, then a budget in parliament, how the budget is passed in the parliament. That topic I have given you yesterday. Then various types of grants and funds which are what you can say passed into the Parliament of India. Then I have also asked you to read about the amendment of procedure of the Constitution of India and bills and passing of an act, how the bills, what are the types of bills and how the bills are passed in the parliament, that is lawmaking process. On that also the questions have been asked in the last. Then elections in India also I've asked you, because we can see that in last 2-3 years the questions like how the president of India is elected, how the MP is elected, how the MLAs are elected, how the vice president is elected, what is the total procedure of the elections of India. So the questions have been asked on that. Anti-defection law I have asked you, because anti-defection law is in news in the whole year. So particularly I am feeling that this year questions will be from the current affairs, will be from one, anti-defection law, the role of governor, then citizenship, then constitutional amendment on these current issues which were going on, and also the appointment of the judiciary, appointment of the judges. So that on that current issues the question can be asked in the upcoming prelims exam. So that is what is expected. So that's why I have asked you to read anti-defection law, then Supreme Court of India, then High Courts in India, and also the subordinate courts in judicial review and judicial activism. So questions have been asked on the judicial review, and it have been asked on the judicial activism also. The question have been asked. So I hope all of you have read all these topics. If you have any doubts about these topics which I have read yesterday, so you can ask me. First we will clear the doubts, and then we can go to the tomorrow's, or sorry, today's, what you can say, the study plan and how to study today. Fine. So if you have any doubts, you can ask me. Hello. Yes. So any doubts for all these topics which I have given you yesterday? And I hope all of you have also gone through the questions on these topics, like how the questions are framed by the UPSC on these, what you can say, on this topic. Yes, Yasmin, you can ask me questions. I'm listening you.
ये सर राज्यसभा में प्रोपोर्शनल रिप्रेजेंटेशन किस तरह से होता है, मतलब अभी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन एट वर्क में मैंने पढ़ा, लेकिन थोड़ा सा मुझे कंफ्यूज हो रहा है।
Proportional representation means what? Ki as per the population of the state, the members in the Rajya Sabha are sent to the Rajya Sabha, right? We know in India, Rajya Sabha is created to give the representation to the states, right? That is why it is called as Council of State. Why a separate house is created into the Union Parliament, in the Union Legislature, that the state should also be represented while making the laws at the Union level. So Council of State has been created and some of the members are elected from the legislative assemblies. So we know that in Schedule 4 of the Indian Constitution, there is an allocation of states, right? From which state, how many MPs should be sent to the Rajya Sabha, that is decided on the basis of population of that state, right? That is why we know that UP has maximum number of MPs in the Rajya Sabha, while the Sikkim has only one member in the Rajya Sabha. So proportional representation means as per the population of the state, the members are sent into the Rajya Sabha. That is why it is called as proportional representation, right? So representation as per or in proportion to the population of that state. That is why it is called as proportional representation. But again, the election of the member of the Rajya Sabha is through indirect method. And again, Rajya Sabha member should achieve at least 50% of the total votes which is voted to him, at least 50% of the first preference vote. If it is not, then the votes of the second candidates are transferred to the first candidate, so that until he achieves that 50%, what you can say the criteria, he is not elected. But in Lok Sabha, that is not the case. In Lok Sabha, there is no need of achieving the 50% of vote, but in Rajya Sabha, the member should achieve the 50% total votes which are voted to the all the candidates. That is what is the method of the election of the Rajya Sabha. समझ में आ गया what is the meaning of proportional representation?
Yes sir.
ठीक है, चलिए. Any other doubts? रोहिना, have you finished? पढ़ रहे हो? कहाँ से पढ़ रहे हो? कहाँ से पढ़ रहे हो आप?
पॉलिटी का तो लक्ष्मीकांत से पढ़ रही हूँ सर, बाकी दूसरे अभी एनसीईआरटी से कर रही हूँ.
ओके ओके, हाँ ठीक है. पॉलिटी का कहाँ से लक्ष्मीकांत से पढ़ रहे हो और एनसीईआरटी से भी पढ़ रहे हो?
हाँ, एनसीईआरटी से भी पढ़ा था पॉलिटी का मैंने 11th स्टैंडर्ड का.
ओके फाइन.
और ज्योग्राफी
पढ़ा
का
था
तो
मतलब पहले पढ़ा था या आप पढ़ रहे हो?
नहीं, पहले पढ़ा था.
तो अभी भी
अभी
मैंने
नहीं.
पढ़ने के लिए बताया था आपको. यहाँ पर लिखा हुआ है कि इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन एट वर्क, इंडियन पॉलिटी या पीएम बख्शी, और मैंने जागरण जोश के भी जो लिंक दिए हुए हैं, ऑल दीज टॉपिक्स व्हिच आई हैव गिवन हियर, आई हैव गिवन द लिंक्स ऑफ द टॉपिक्स फ्रॉम द जागरण जोश. तो वहां से भी मैंने पढ़ने के लिए बताया था आपको.
सर एक्चुअली थोड़ा हेल्थ का इश्यू है, इसलिए हो नहीं रहा, बट मैं लेक्चर अटेंड कर रही हूँ.
ठीक है, चलिए कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. ठीक है, नो प्रॉब्लम. सो एनी अदर डाउट्स फ्रॉम अदर कैंडिडेट्स?
Sir,
Yes.
motion.
हाँ.
So there are three kind of motion that I have studied. That substantive, substitute, and subsidiary. एक बार ये बता दीजिए.
Types of motion which are passed in the parliament, right?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So ठीक है. So there are various types of motions which are passed in the parliament. So yesterday I have discussed about the adjournment motion. Adjournment motion means the motion which is passed in the parliament to stop the normal business of the parliament and to debate and discuss on the what you can say on the urgent matter, that is of the urgent matter that is discussed. So that is what you can say the adjournment motion, right? So there is one more type of motion which is called as the what you can say the cut motion. So cut motion is passed during the budget which is going on. What you can say which is going on. Cut motion means what? For example, you know what is budget? Budget means the the finance minister of India introduces a financial statement that what is going to be the government's, what you can say, the estimated revenues and what is going to be the government's estimated expenditure. But if any parliament member, that is any member of parliament, suggest for what you can say reduction in the tax, or if the any member of parliament suggests for what you can say increase or reduction in the reduction in the expenditure in a particular department or in particular what you can say the aspect, then the motion which is introduced to reduce the tax rates or to reduce what you can say the expenditure in a particular field, then if that is passed in the parliament, then finance minister has to, what you can say, reduce that tax rate or reduce that expenditure. So such type of motions which are passed in the parliament, they are called as cut motions, right? Now coming back to what you can say, the substance motions, which what you can say, which is passed in the parliament. This is actually what you can say, this practice has been started from the what you can say, the England. Like, you know, all of the parliamentary proceedings, or all of the parliamentary, what you can say, the motions and type of, what you can say, the activities which are carried in Indian parliament, we have actually copied it from the England's parliament, right? So in fact, we have adopted the parliamentary type of democracy from the England itself, right? So the type of motions which are passed in the England's parliament, they are also, what we can say, they are not copied as such, but we can say we are following the same method which is being followed in the parliament, right? So in parliamentary procedure, a motion is a formal, like we all of you know, that a proposal by a member. Any member can introduce any type of motion. Any member can introduce adjournment motion. Any member can, like from the ruling party or from the opposition party, he can introduce the cut motion. He can introduce the what you can say, this adjournment motion. Any type of, what you can say, the motion can be, what you can say, introduced in the parliament. Now in India, this substance motion is, what you can say, not introduced. That substance motion is introduced in the England's parliament. So it is same like India's, what you can say, the adjournment motion. Adjournment motion means what? By stopping the what you can say, by stopping the normal, what you can say, the activities, when we go for that important what you can say, the important what you can say, the debates and discussions on an important and urgent matter, that is what is called a substance motion in England. But in India, the same substance motion is called as, what you can say, the it is called as the adjournment motion. Now what is subsidiary, what you can say, the motion? Subsidiary motion means what? When a main motion is passed, and after the main motion is passed, suppose if any member wants to add something that supplementary or a kind of, what you can say, subsidiary, that which is a sub part of the main motion, they are called as subsidiary motion. Got it? A main motion, and or you can say a original motion, and but an original motion is passed, but after that, suppose if any member wants to add something to that, or he wants to, what you can say, like add sub part to that motion, that motion is called a subsidiary motion, right? So there is one more type of motion which are passed into the parliament. They are called as breach of privilege motion. Do you know what is breach of privilege? In parliamentary democracy, a word is a term is normally used, that is called as breach of privilege. So in our parliamentary system, member of parliament have been given some kind of, what you can say, immunity, and they have been given some kind of, what you can say, the privileges which are not available to the normal citizens of India. And what is that privilege? Is that whatever is being said or whatever is being done by the member of parliament in the house, whether it is in Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha, or whether it is in legislative assembly or whether it is in legislative council, whatever he says in the house, whatever he acts in the house, that cannot be, what you can say, questioned in any court of the India, right? So the courts cannot question it, right? The court cannot question it. One second. Hello? Hello? I'm audible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So
Yes,
privileges
sir.
means our member of parliament have been given certain privileges, like whatever he says in the parliament, whatever he, what you can say, gives his opinion in the parliament, that cannot be questioned in any, what you can say, the court of the law. So, and suppose any, like at the same time, if whatever the function is going on in the parliament, that cannot be also questioned by, what you can say, any court. So if anything happens which is against the privileges given to the member of parliament or the privileges given to the Lok Sabha or Vidhan Sabha as a whole, then a motion can be passed into the parliament against that, what you can say, the breach of privileges, and a punishment can be given to the person who was responsible for, what you can say, that breach of privileges. So when such privilege motion is passed in the parliament, that is what is called as motion of privilege. Got it? So these are called as privileged motions or motion of privileges, which are passed into the parliament when, what you can say, the parliamentary privileges have been violated or have been breached by any person inside the house or outside the house. Like it may be quite possibility that one member of parliament can also privilege the parliament, or not only the member of parliament, even if the person outside the parliament who is not the member of the parliament, even if he does any activity which leads to breach of the privileges of the parliament, of a member of parliament as well as the parliament as a whole, then such type of motions which are passed into the parliament, they are called as privilege motions. Got it, Piyush? Any other types of motion that we want to
Yeah, substitute. There is substitute motion as well.
Substitute means, obviously the name itself mentions that. Substitute means what? When a motion is, what you can say, passed, but suppose if that motion is not, what you can say, that motion is introduced, but if it is not passed into the parliament, then and substitute for that motion by making some changes and making some alterations into the original, what you can say, the motion, a substitute motion is passed, and that is what is called a substitute motion. Okay, so if you want to understand the motions of India properly, then better to, what you can say, go through the various types of motions which are passed, which are, what you can see, which are practiced in the England's parliament, because maximum activities which have been, what you can say, we have taken in parliamentary democracy, that we have taken it from the England's parliament. So we have taken the federal structure from US, but the parliamentary democracy from what you can say, the England, right? Okay, please, if you have any doubts, you please ask me directly, because I don't see the chats. So if you have any doubts, you can directly ask me. Okay, so someone is asking me a questions. How many bills are different from financial bills? Explain. Yes. Naveen, money bills are those bills in which if there is a, what you can say, the bill of withdrawing the money from the consolidated fund of India, like, because to use the money from the consolidated fund of India, you need to take the approval of the Parliament of India. So a bill which is introduced in the Parliament of India, where there is a provision to withdraw the money or appropriate the money from the consolidated fund of India, that is what is called as money bills. While financial bills are only related to finances. Finances means that how much tax should be there, how much tax should not be there, and what you can say, whether we should make any changes in the financial structure, like between the share of taxes between the union government and state government. If there are such types of, what you can say, then bills, it is called as financial bills. But in such type of bills, there is no provision of withdrawing the money. So if the provision is related to withdrawing the money and using the money from the consolidated fund of India, then those bills are called as money bills. While simple bills, in which only there are provisions related to finances but no withdrawal of the money, those are called as what you can say, the financial bills. Fine. Yes, Moin, what you want to us know about the fundamental rights? Rupali? Rights issues. Yeah.
Structure of
Okay.
various parliamentary committees.
Yeah, one second. Let me answer the question of Rupali. So Rupali is saying, anyone know from where we have to cover
Yes.
the rights issues? Okay, Rupali, do you know what is the meaning of rights issues? These are not the rights issues of the fundamental rights. Rights of children, rights of, what you can say, the women, rights of, what you can say, handicapped, rights of what you can say, the vulnerable section of the society. So you see that the last, what you can say, the 4-5 years, questions have been asked about this type of question. Like, for example, there was one question in 2015 that according to United Nations Convention on Children's Rights, which among the following are the rights of the children? So they have given the options like rights to entertainment, right to education, right to what you can say, rights to these are the types of questions have been given. So rights issues means the rights of the vulnerable section, that is handicapped, women, then what you can say, then the rights of children, rights of women. So such type of questions are asked from these rights issues topics. And in almost all the questions where the questions have been asked on the rights issues, the answer is all of the above. Almost अब तक जितने भी सारे सवाल पूछे गए हैं इस तरीके के कि चिल्ड्रंस के राइट्स क्या होते हैं, वुमेन्स के राइट्स क्या होते हैं, राइट्स ऑफ प्रिजनर्स ऑफ वॉर के क्या होते हैं, या फिर राइट्स ऑफ व्हाट यू कैन से ट्रांसजेंडर्स और राइट्स ऑफ व्हाट यू कैन से द वल्नरेबल सेक्शन ऑफ सोसाइटी. Whenever such type of questions comes in the exam and whenever the options are given, almost अब तक जितने भी सवाल आए हैं पूरे एग्जाम में in last what you can say 5 years, almost all exams, the answer is all of the above. Suppose if any such questions comes into the exam, what you need to do, you need to mark all of the above. Getting it? But anyways, if you want to what you can say study about the rights issues, then the best source is Wikipedia. So search, write it down in rights issues, whose rights you need to study. You have to study the rights of the children, you have to study the rights of what you can say the SCs, rights of STs, then rights of what you can say the handicapped, rights of women, rights of prisoners of war. So rights of laborers, rights of workers. So these are the rights you need to study for the rights issues. So rights issues is a different topic and fundamental rights is a different topic. Fundamental rights is in the Constitution of India, while rights issues, which has been specifically mentioned in the Indian polity and governance topic, that is the rights of the children and the rights of what you can say the other sections of the society. Clear? Am I audible to all of you?
Yes sir, thank you sir.
Yes, sir.
ठीक आहे. हे अगोदर पण मी सांगितलेलं होतं हे रुपाली, मला वाटतं तुला बहुतेक लक्षात नाहीये. ठीक आहे.
हो सर.
ठीक आहे, चलो. So going to the next question. Yeah, fundamental rights. Okay, Bagisha, have you covered all the topics which I have given?
Yes, sir.
The target which I have given in yesterday's what you can say the plan? Okay, no doubts, no
Yes,
questions
sir.
from the topics which I have read yesterday.
नो सर, मोर ये थोड़ा फैक्चुअल है, इसको ज्यादा याद करना पड़ेगा. नो डाउट.
हाँ ठीक है, याद तो करना ही है, बट एट द सेम टाइम यू नीड टू रिमेम्बर दैट कि इसमें एक चीज ऐसे होती है कि कंसेप्ट अगर समझ में आ गया तो फैक्चुअल में आपको यूपीएससी हेल्प करता है. लाइक इफ यू डोंट नो द फैक्ट्स, यूपीएससी हेल्प्स यू इन अ सच अ वे दैट कि जो ऑप्शंस होते हैं वो ऐसे फ्रेम करते हैं कि आपको वो फैक्चुअल इंफॉर्मेशन करेक्ट है या रॉन्ग है वो समझ में आ ही जाता है. सो दैट इज द ब्यूटी ऑफ द क्वेश्चन, हाउ द यूपीएससी फ्रेम्स इन एग्जाम. So if you know the concepts, you don't need to worry about the facts. You will get the answer in the exam. Fine.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What about you, Manish? You are going according to our plan, or you have your own plan?
No, some part according to your plan, but I haven't finished all the topics that you have given. Some of them I have done, but
So
not
why?
all of them.
See why I have given such plan, because what will happen that if you follow the plan, because I know what after polity, what after science, sorry, what after polity and what after geography, what after economics, what I need to do and what you are supposed to do and how you need to finish the whole topic within this 90 or maybe 100 days, whichever are left now, that I know. That is why, like, if you follow the plan which I given to you, I'll make sure that you will cover all the topics and again all the relevant topics. Again, that's very important. So if you are reading irrelevant part in this particular time, then obviously it would be a kind of what you can say like wasting your time. Yes, it may be useful for mains, it may be useful for what you can say the interview, but right now I think your focus should be more on the prelims, so that you should not what you can say miss any prelims point of view what you can say the topics, because we know there are certain topics which are exclusively asked only in the prelims. Those questions are not asked in mains, those questions are not asked in the interview, but they are exclusively asked in the prelims. So that I think you need to focus more on in this particular time. So that is why I am giving you a detailed plan. So next week I will be giving you a plan for probably history, that which topics you need to be covered in history, that ancient, medieval and modern history, so that we can cover all the topics. That is the main objective of what you can say why I am taking daily review, whether you are covering the whole topics which I am giving to you or not. Because if I do that, then only you will be able to what you can say finish all the important topics and all the relevant topics related to the prelims exam. Fine. So that again, I'm not forcing you. Again, I know you have to do it by yourself. But again, I'm just making कि इससे क्या हो जाएगा कि you will be able to, what you can say, finish the at least syllabus, which will give an what you can say psychological satisfaction that yes, I have covered all these topics. Ultimately, again, no one can cover 100%. No one can cover each and everything. But I will be very sure that you will be cover the topics which you will be helpful in, what you can say, qualifying the prelims to get that 50% marks which are required generally for qualifying in the prelims exam. Fine. Chaliye. Yes. So what
Sir,
about
parliamentary committee,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
have one. Yeah. Let Bagisha finish. Then I'll come to you, Yasmin. Yes.
सर जैसे आपने बोला तो जैसे पिछले साल अगर हम क्वेश्चन देखते हैं जैसे आ रखे हैं कि पार्लियामेंट्री कमिटीज में आया हुआ है कि कौन सी सबसे ज्यादा लार्जेस्ट कमिटी है जिसमें सबसे ज्यादा मेंबर्स हैं, प्लस के मेंबर्स में हमें याद भी करना होता है ना कि कितने मेंबर्स लोकसभा के हैं, कितने राज्यसभा के, क्योंकि कुछ कमिटी है जिसमें सिर्फ और सिर्फ लोकसभा के मेंबर्स होते हैं.
नो नीड ऑफ दैट. नो नीड ऑफ दैट. ऐसे पूछता नहीं है. आप यूपीएससी आपको कितने मेंबर्स होते हैं, क्या होते हैं, ये नहीं पूछता है. यूपीएससी ये पूछता है कि उस कमेटी का काम क्या है. What is the function of that committee? Like for example, what is the function of the public account committee? What is the function of the what you can say that rules committee? What is the function of the estimate committee? What is the function of, suppose there are two types of committees actually. One are what you can say the permanent committees, which are called as standing committees, जो हमेशा के लिए रहता है, but they are what you can say they are established regularly. And there are some ad hoc committees whenever required. जब भी जरूरत पड़ती है उस समय में कुछ ad hoc committees भी बनाए जाते हैं. जैसे कि फॉर एग्जांपल कुछ ज्वाइंट पार्लियामेंट्री कमिटीज बनाए जाते हैं, जेपीसीज बनाए जाते हैं, कुछ सेलेक्ट कमिटीज बनाए जाते हैं कि अगर कोई एक पर्टिकुलर इश्यू है और इफ द पार्लियामेंट feels ki that issue should be sent to a select committee. Like for example, recently there was a demand by a member of parliament to send the CAA, that is Citizenship Amendment Act, to a select committee so that all the sides or all the angles or all the aspects of the Citizenship Amendment Act shall be scrutinized in detail by a select committee, which was not accepted by the government again. But again, whether it should be sent to the select committee or not, that is again obviously decided by passing what you can say the resolution or passing a motion in the parliament. So कुछ परमानेंट कमिटीज होते हैं और कुछ नॉन परमानेंट कमिटीज होते हैं या एडहॉक कमिटीज उनको कहा जाता है. तो आपको सिर्फ उनका फंक्शन पता होना चाहिए कि जैसे कि मतलब वो उनका काम क्या है, what is their function and what is their role in the parliamentary democracy. Because of course it is not humanly impossible to remember कि कौन से कमेटी में राज्यसभा के कितने मेंबर होते हैं, लोकसभा के कितने मेंबर होते हैं, रूलिंग पार्टी से कितने मेंबर होते हैं, अपोजिशन पार्टी से कितने मेंबर होते हैं. ऐसे सवाल तो नहीं पूछा जाता है. समझ में आ गया? And again, yesterday we have discussed one question that, for example, according to the provisions laid down in the Constitution of India, the leader of opposition normal leader of opposition is given to the opposition party, and the deputy speaker is given to speaker is given to the ruling party, and deputy speaker is given to the opposition party. ये जो चीज है वो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में तो है ही नहीं. And again, जो various types of parliamentary जो motions है, that is also not in the original Constitution of India. There's various types of motions, there is various types of what you can say the rules that how the parliament should function, that is actually decided by the parliament itself. So उसके लिए आपको अलग से क्या करना पड़ेगा, पार्लियामेंट्री फंक्शन कैसे होता है, क्या काम करता है, वो करना. अगर डिटेल में अगर आपको पढ़ना ही है, actually I don't like think whether it is the right time to read in detail about the various types of parliamentary committees and functioning of the parliament. That is not the right time. But again, if you want to read it, अगर आपके पास time है, if you have a time, you can afford to what you can say invest your time to this topic. You should read it from Subhash Kashyap. Subhash Kashyap की किताब है Our Parliament. Subhash Kashyap has totally 3 books. One is Our Constitution and Our Parliament. In Our Parliament, he has explained in detail that how the parliament functions through its various parliamentary committees, through various motions, through various types of questions which are being asked by the member of parliament to the ruling party, so that you can study in detail in Our Parliament, what you can say the book written by Subhash Kashyap. So I will just check it out whether the PDF is available on the internet or not. If it is available, I'll share it to you, or you can also search it. So वो particular ये जो topic है parliamentary motions का और parliamentary committees का, वो उतना ही topic अगर आप उस book से पढ़ोगे तो that would be better for what you can say the prelims exam.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है? So got it,
जी
got it, Bagesha. So you don't need to remember the factual details like how many members are elected, how many members are from Rajya Sabha, how many members are from Lok Sabha, and ऐसे भी होता है कि अलग-अलग committees में अलग-अलग membership भी है. Like some committees have 10 members, some committees have 5 members, some committees have 6 members, some
यस सर,
committees
यही
have.
मैं बोल रही थी नंबर के हिसाब से, क्योंकि जैसे जो क्वेश्चन आया हुआ है कि सबसे ज्यादा लार्जेस्ट पार्टी कौन सी है, तो जब नंबर नहीं पता होंगे तो लार्जेस्ट कहाँ से लिख देंगे सर, उसमें तो कोई फॉर्मेट में लगने का नहीं है।
यस यस, वो
तो
वाला क्वेश्चन ना जो पूछा गया था कि लीडर ऑफ अपोजिशन सबसे पहले लार्जेस्ट पार्टी कौन सी थी, किसको लीडर ऑफ अपोजिशन इलेक्ट किया गया था, ऐसा सवाल पूछा गया था. तो ऐसे जब क्वेश्चन होते हैं ना कि रिमेंबर कि ये ओनली लाइक आउट ऑफ व्हाट यू कैन से द 5 lakh people who appear for this exam, hardly 100 people will be knowing the exact answer of that question. And even if they know, even if they know 100, अगर वो 100 लोगों को भी अगर पता है तो उनको फिर या दूसरा स्टेटमेंट पता नहीं होगा या तो तीसरा स्टेटमेंट पता नहीं होगा. So there are many chances of getting it wrong in such type of questions. तो अगर ऐसा कोई एकदम बहुत ही फिजिकल फैक्चुअल क्वेश्चन आ रहा है जैसे आपको लग रहा है कि वो फैक्ट्स रिमेम्बर करना या याद रखना बहुत मुश्किल है, तो ऐसे सवाल एग्जाम में छोड़ देना ही बेहतर है. बिकॉज इसमें क्या हो जाएगा, जैसे मैंने आपको कल बताया ना कि द बेस्ट डिफेंस मैकेनिज्म इज टू व्हाट, कि नॉट गेटिंग रॉन्ग. ये सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है यूपीएससी के प्रीलिम्स एग्जाम में. ये सबसे बड़ी इंपॉर्टेंट स्ट्रेटेजी होनी चाहिए कि ज्यादा से ज्यादा हमारे नेगेटिव्स कैसे कम हो, मतलब गलत आंसर कैसे कम हो, इसकी कोशिश हमको करनी चाहिए.
Yes.
और एज आई टोल्ड यू दैट आउट ऑफ 100 क्वेश्चंस 20 क्वेश्चंस ऐसे होते हैं कि जो आपको गलत करने के लिए ही बनाए गए होते हैं. तो वो एग्जाम में आपको पता होना चाहिए कि ये सवाल ये गलत करने के लिए बनाया गया है या मेरा नॉलेज टेस्ट करने के लिए बनाया गया या इजी क्वेश्चन है. तो अगर आपको लगता है कि वो ट्रैप वाला क्वेश्चन है वेयर दे आर ट्राइंग टू व्हाट यू कैन से कैच यू इन ट्रैप, then what you can say, you need to realize that and immediately you should skip that question and go to the next question. Fine?
Yes sir.
Check it. Chaliye. Anything else? Yes, Yasmin, you have raised hand, so if you want you can ask me questions. I guess 10 minutes are left now, so within these 8 minutes we will discuss few more
Yes,
doubts,
sir.
and in next session I will be discussing you few questions of UPSC again previous year question paper, and I will also discuss the today's plan and the topics which I have included for the today's plan and why I have included those topics in today's plan and what you need to focus on while revising for the today's topics that I will discuss in the next session. So 8 minutes are left. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. Yes, Manish. Sorry, Yasmin.
सर 19 का ये क्वेश्चन है, वो समझ में नहीं आ रहा.
ठीक है.
मैं
हाँ, पढ़िए क्वेश्चन क्या है.
consider the following statements. First, Parliament Prevention of Disqualification Act 1959 exempts several posts from disqualification on grounds of office of profit. Second statement, the above mentioned act was amended 5 times. Third statement, the term office of profit is well defined in the Constitution of India. Which of the following statement given above is correct?
So
A1 and 2.
Yeah, 1 second. So the statement which you have told, out of that I am very sure about only the last statement. What is the last statement? Last statement says that the office of profit is well defined in the Constitution of India. So how many of you think
ये तो wrong होगी ना
ये
सर?
statement
Wrong है
wrong?
ये.
अगर ये statement अगर wrong है तो कोशिश करो कि अगर ये statement wrong है तो with options can you find the answer of this question?
Yes sir, यहाँ पर 1 and 2. 1 and 2 only 3, 2 and 3 only 3 तो नहीं आएगा सर, 2 and 3 भी नहीं आएगा, 1 and 2 एक ही आएगा.
तो यहाँ पे अगर आप देखिए ये सवाल में अगर आप देखोगे ना तो इस क्वेश्चन में अगेन Bagisha, like I told you right how UPSC will help you in factual things. Like in this question the last statement is about concept. What is that concept? That the office of profit is not well defined in the Constitution of India. That is the concept. So if you know that, then about the first statement and second statement, which were actually factual question, like second statement says that this act has been amended for 5 times. So you may not be knowing whether it is amended 5 times or 6 times or 7 times and 8 times. You don't know that, right? And again, the first statement also says that when that what you can say disqualification on the basis of on the basis of office of profit, whether it was passed in 1959 or 1950, that also you don't know. But if you know the last what you can say the concept that office of profit is not well defined in the Constitution of India, you can find out the answer. Because I am very sure कि the last option जो third वाला जो option है वो 3 option में दिया होगा. और जो 3 ऑप्शन में दिया है वो रॉन्ग ऑप्शन है, और जिस ऑप्शन में 3 नहीं है, द थर्ड स्टेटमेंट नहीं है, थर्ड इज द करेक्ट स्टेटमेंट नहीं है, that you can mark it as a correct answer even if you don't know whether the first statement or second statement correct or not, even if you don't know the factual what you can say the data. समझ में आ गया यास्मीन? तो ऐसे सवाल का ज्यादा टेंशन नहीं लेना, मतलब अगर आप वहां पर आप पढ़ रहे हो, क्या पढ़ रहे हो कि वो 1959 के एक्ट के बारे में पूछा है और ये ऑफिस ऑफ प्रॉफिट को 5 बार अमेंड किया गया ये पूछा है, तो व्हाट इज नॉर्मली वी डू, हम सारे एक्ट्स को याद करने की कोशिश करते हैं, सारे एक्ट्स कितनी बार अमेंड हुए उसको याद करने की कोशिश करते हैं. दैट इज नॉट एक्सपेक्टेड फ्रॉम यू. मेरे को जो याद करना, मेमोराइज करना, ये क्लर्क का काम है. आप क्लर्क नहीं हो, आप आईएएस बनने वाले हो. तो अगर आपको सपोज कुछ फैक्चुअल डिटेल्स की जरूरत है तो एज आईएएस ऑफिसर आप क्लर्क को बुला सकते हो और फैक्चुअल डिटेल्स ले सकते हो, बट उस फैक्चुअल डिटेल का एनालिसिस करना ही आपका काम होता है. समझ में आ गया? So that is what UPSC is expecting. You know, that is what I told, that the question framer of the UPSC are, they are very, what I can say, the talented people. They know exactly where to test the basic knowledge of the candidates. And what is that basic knowledge in this question? In this question, basic knowledge was that the office of profit is not well defined in the Constitution of India. That is what is expected. And again, see, this question was related to the election procedure in India, right? Because whether a person can contest the election of the president or MP or MLAs, in that there is one condition, that is a person shall not, what you can say, hold any office of profit. तो आपको ये पता होना चाहिए, that is what is expected from you, that is what is office of profit. Get it? So आज आप डिटेल में पढ़ सकते हो कि ऑफिस ऑफ प्रॉफिट क्या हो सकता है. Am I right? So got it? How to find out the answer? Am I right? How to find out the answer of such questions in exam? Yes, और ये इस तरीके के जो क्वेश्चंस होते हैं, इस तरीके के जो क्वेश्चंस होते हैं, वो सिर्फ यूपीएससी ही फ्रेम कर सकता है. ऐसे ऑप्शंस और ऐसे स्टेटमेंट वो यूपीएससी फ्रेम कर सकता है. दैट कैन नॉट बी मैच्ड any or you can say any of the, what you can say, the coaching class. Even like I'm planning to take a test on Monday, because on Sunday I will be free. So Sunday I will try to, what you can say, frame 50 questions. So Monday I will be taking the questions and I will try to what you can say, make the questions as much as possible to the UPSC. But again, even I cannot, what you can say, the match is the standard of the UPSC, because in UPSC questions are being framed by, you know, who frame the questions. UPSC questions are framed by the professors of IIMs and ITS in, what you can say, Delhi University and Jawaharlal Nehru University. So, and they have a pool of, what you can say, around 100 professors. Out of that 100 professors, some questions are submitted to the UPSC, and out of that, again, a committee decides which questions to be taken or not. So they have a very huge manpower. So I am the only one. So I cannot, what you can say, obviously match the standard of 100 professors of Delhi University. But I will definitely try to make the question. But again, you need to remember that no one can match the standard of the question which are being framed by the UPSC question setters. Fine. तो ये आपको चीज ध्यान में रखने की, एग्जाम में you need to be very confident, you need to, what you can say, sure कि even if the factual question is asked, but there will be one such, what you can say, the trigger word, there will be one such triggered statement which, if I know about that, on that basis I will be able to find out the answer in the exam. वो कॉन्फिडेंस आपको होना चाहिए, और ये तभी पता होगा जितना आप ज्यादा यूपीएससी के प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चंस देखोगे, उसके ऑप्शंस देखोगे और उसके आंसर्स देखोगे, उतना ज्यादा आपको क्या होगा, उस पे कॉन्फिडेंस आएगा आप पे. राइट? यस यास्मीन, क्लियर?
यस सर. ऑफिस ऑफ प्रॉफिट थोड़ा सा बता दीजिए सर.
ऑफिस ऑफ प्रॉफिट का मतलब क्या होता है कि अगर कोई, इफ एनी पर्सन वांट्स टू, व्हाट यू कैन से, कंटेस्ट इलेक्शन फॉर एनी पोस्ट, लाइक वेदर इट इज प्रेसिडेंट और वाइस प्रेसिडेंट और एमएलएज और एमपीज, अगर वो कोई और ऑफिस होल्ड करता है, कोई और पोस्ट अगर होल्ड करता है, और उस ऑफिस के बजाय रिटर्न में या उसके, व्हाट यू कैन से, with respect to that, if he's getting some pecuniary benefits, the term which is mentioned in the constitution, that is called as pecuniary benefits. Pecuniary benefits means what? If he is getting some, what you can say, the monetary benefit, or if he is getting some, what you can say, salary or money, or what you can say, allowances, or any kind of, what you can say, the monetary benefits or monetary gains from that office, then that is what is called as office of profit. So अगर कोई ऐसा ऑफिस ऑफ प्रॉफिट इसके पास में है, whether it is a government or a private, then he shall be, what you can say, he shall leave that office of profit and he should contest the election. Because simultaneously you cannot get the salary as a MP and salary of, what you can say, from any other, what you can say, the department. That is what is the meaning of office of profit. So any MP or MLA or president, they cannot have any office of profit along with post of president.
Okay sir, thank you.
Okay, so I guess 1 minute is left now, the meeting will expire.
Sir,
So I will end the expert. Yes, if you have any doubts, you can ask me in the next session, because we will not be able to cover the doubts within this 1 minute. So I'm ending this minute. Join again by using the same link. Then we will continue. Fine.
Okay.